So, Facebook and Zoom appear ready to go, so let's begin our service. If you wish to follow along, you can scan the QR code that is on our screen, or you can go to riverofgrassuu.org/2023-OOS, and you'll find the order of service there. And now we're going to have the We Are video. We are.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Oh, for each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Oh, for each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth, keepers of faith, makers of peace, and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are one.
Well, welcome to the beloved community at River of Grass Unitarian Universalist Congregation, both here in person and live streamed on Zoom and Facebook Live. Now, you might be wondering what live streaming is. It's a lot like regular streaming, but it has all the kinks and glitches already worked out. So you have the love that you can feel from this room. We celebrate all the ways we find to gather in our beloved community in body and in spirit as we go and grow and flow the River Way. I'm Ken Bresnahan, and my pronouns are he, him, and his. And I mention this for no other reason than for those of you who use less traditional pronouns, you feel welcome. You, here in this room, we welcome you. You on Zoom or Facebook Live, we welcome you. However you made your way among us, this morning we welcome you. So let us pause together to enter into this time as we connect again with one another, with the holy by any name, and by the light of love within us all, while we remain mindful that not everyone can breathe easily, nor find it easy to breathe. Let us pause here in the headlong rush of our lives to breathe into our time together. In this congregation, it is our mission to nurture our spirits, love intentionally, and create a just and healthy planet in our enduring search for truth, meaning, and faith. What we share here is not an unchanging dogma, but an affirmation that we are called to be agents of love and justice, and to build a world where everyone is cherished for who they are.
Good morning. I'm Kathy Jens Rockow. My pronouns are she and her. This morning, as we continue our September theme of renewal for our new congregational year, we explore the meaning of siding with love. In the words of poet Julie Corbett Haymeyer, titled We Answer the Call of Love. In the face of hate, we answer with the call of love. In the face of exclusion, we answer the call of inclusion. In the face of homophobia, we answer the call of LGBTQ rights. In the face of racism, we answer the call for justice for all races. In the face of xenophobia, we answer the call of pluralism. In the face of misogyny, we answer the call of women's rights. In the face of demagoguery, we answer the call of reason. In the face of religious intolerance, we answer the call of diversity. In the face of narrow nationalism, we answer the call of a global community. In the face of bigotry, we answer the call of open-mindedness. And in the face of despair, we answer the call of hope. As Unitarian Universalists, we answer the call of love now more than ever. So, this morning we open our hearts with our faith development. Well, are we going to do the faith development? No. We're going to join the choir in singing Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today force of change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
The flaming chalice is a symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition, a beacon of religious liberty shining through generations, now ours to hold high. As we light our chalice together this morning, please give your voice to these words. We come together each week, bound not by a creed or a mutual desire to please one God or many gods. Yet we are drawn together by a belief that how we are in the world, who we are together, matters. We light this chalice together with the knowledge that love, not fear, can change this world. In the light of love, let us renew our covenant as we say together, love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. El amor es el espíritu de esta congregación y el servicio su ley principal. Esta es nuestra gran promesa, vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad a través del amor y ayudarnos mutuamente.
I wanna be ready. I wanna be ready. I wanna be ready when joy comes back to me. I've been downhearted. I've been downhearted. I've been so downhearted. But I won't be down for long, 'cause I wanna be ready. I wanna be ready. I wanna be ready when joy comes back to me. I've been too long crying, too long crying, too long crying. Won't cry anymore, 'cause I wanna be ready. I wanna be ready. I wanna be ready when joy comes back to me. Been tied to the ground, tied to the ground, tied to the ground, Lord, tied to the ground, Lord. Get lighter every day, 'cause I wanna be ready. I wanna be ready. I wanna be ready when joy comes back to me. The spirit get low, spirit get low, spirit get low, Lord. But I will rise again, 'cause I wanna be ready.
There we go. In our community each week, we share pieces of our lives. This too takes a new form for our new normal. We take a moment here with people who love us for exactly who we are, where we are right now. Here in the room, we'll share from this book. And if you're in Zoom and would like to share a thought, a prayer, a joy, a concern with us, write it in the chat, and I'll do my best to lift them up with us together. As William James wrote, we are like islands in the sea, separate on the surface but connected in the deep. Let us share a moment of silent reflection, connecting us to all who are in need.
We lift these things, both spoken and unspoken, asking that our hearts be seen even as we become seers of hearts, that we may serve one another and those beyond our walls with love and thankfulness today and every day. We are so fragile. Every human being is fragile. Some less than others, considering their station in life, materially or in some other seemingly life ways. But all that can change for anyone in any moment, just around the corner on any day, like any other day. May we each grasp the awesome fragility of being human and the heart's desire to open and compassion as a result of fully realizing this. It is the time of Yom Kippur in the Jewish tradition, a time of atonement. We could also repronounce it, let's put it that way, as a time of at oneness, at one ment. In this turning, the religious response is to turn towards that which knows oneness of life. Now is the time for a profound understanding of our common fragility. Every human being on the planet has this in common. Let's take another moment of silence to connect with all, recognizing the fragility in everyone. Amen. Amin. Aho. Ashe. Namaste. Blessed be. And so it is.
We sustain and strengthen this beloved community and its work in our world through the gifts of our time, our skills, our love, and our money, especially now that we have a rent to pay for and build out and move in. Each Sunday, half of our undesignated offerings go to LifeNet for Family, which provides meals, clothing, and support to those in need here in Broward County. And the other half supports our mission and our ministry here at River of Grass. Ushers, please come forward to receive the offering. And if I had baskets, I would give you some. They are. You got them.
Es tiempo para ver que el colibrí chupa la flor. Las mariposas danzan locas y color. Es tiempo en escalar esas colinas con el sol que brilla más y resplandece su verdor. Tiempo de tomarnos la mano y ver el cielo azul trazado con arcoíris que la lluvia nos dejó. Es tiempo en percibir que el sauce mece su esplendor, pero mi amor, lo más inmenso es que toda esta belleza fue creada solamente para amar. Tiempo de tomarnos la mano y ver el cielo azul trazado con arcoíris que la lluvia nos dejó. Es tiempo en percibir que el sauce mece su esplendor, pero mi amor, lo más inmenso es que toda esta belleza fue creada solamente para amar. Toda esta belleza fue creada por amor. La naturaleza danza y canta de esplendor. Luz y fuerza en su creación dibujan la emoción de un tiempo siempre en perfección. Tiempo para solamente
And we thank you here in the room and those online for your generous gifts.
So one of our new value statements reminds us that Unitarian Universalists, as Unitarian Universalists, we covenant to dismantle racism and all forms of systemic oppression. That means we make a promise with each other that will work for justice for all people. Today's story is about a young Jewish woman in the late 1800s, bless you, who did just that. She wasn't a Unitarian or a Universalist, but she was living into this value that we now hold dear, so she's an inspiration. And the author of today's story, Linda Glasser, dedicated this to the immigrants then and now. When Emma was a little girl, she had plenty of everything. Plenty of pretty dresses, plenty of good food, and plenty of love from her family. She lived in a large, comfortable house in New York City with her mother and father and her sisters and brother. She loved to read, and she had plenty of books. She loved to write, and she had plenty of time to create stories and poems. All the people Emma knew had plenty of good food and fine clothes. They had plenty of everything. Even when Emma was all grown up, and by then a well-known writer, she still only knew people who had plenty of everything. But one day, Emma visited Ward's Island in New York Harbor. There she met very poor immigrants whom she had only heard about. They had traveled a long way across the ocean by boat. They wore ragged clothing and looked tired and sad. Some were sick. All of them were hungry. They were the poorest people Emma had ever seen. Her heart hurt to see them. They were Jews like Emma. Some were well educated like Emma, but they had been treated very badly in Eastern Europe. Their homes had been burned. Friends and relatives had been killed. They had made the long, hard journey to America, hoping for a better life. Emma felt she must help them. At that time in the 1880s, people believed that a fine lady like Emma should not mingle with poor people, but Emma often visited the immigrants. She helped them learn English and get training for jobs. In time, she made friends with many of them. Emma knew that in her own city, many people did not care about the immigrants. People said they were so ragged and poor, they'd ruin the country. In those days, women kept their thoughts quiet, but Emma wrote about the immigrants for the newspaper and in poems. She told with great feeling how badly they needed help. She explained that with help, they'd give back to the country. Many people read her writing. Some began to care, but still many did not. One day, Emma heard about a statue being constructed in France as a gift of friendship for the United States. It was meant to show the great love of liberty that both countries shared. The statue was huge, 151 feet tall. The arm holding the torch was 42 feet long. The statue would be erected right in New York Harbor. But first, money was needed to build a very large pedestal for the statue to stand on. To raise money, many well-known American writers, such as Mark Twain and Walt Whitman, were asked to write something. Emma was asked to create a poem. The whole collection would be sold to help pay for the statue's pedestal. Emma Lazarus always wrote what she cared about. Now she thought hard. What did she want to say? At that time, the Statue of Liberty had nothing to do with immigrants. But Emma knew that immigrants would see the huge woman when their boats arrived in New York Harbor. Wouldn't they wonder why she was there? What might they think? What might they hope? And what if the statue were a real live woman? What might she think when she saw immigrants arriving hungry and in rags? What might she feel? And Emma pondered, what would the statue say if she could actually speak? Emma took up her pen and began to write. Emma's poem was the only one read to a large celebration in 1883 to raise money for the pedestal. Those listening heard a powerful new voice speak up for immigrants. In the last few lines of Emma's poem, they heard the huge statue send out a welcome to immigrants and boldly tell the world, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free." 3 years later, in 1886, when enough money had been raised, the statue was packed into 214 crates, shipped across the Atlantic Ocean, and erected in New York Harbor on top of the pedestal. Although sadly, Emma did not live to see the statue erected, she knew that her poem helped buy the pedestal for it. She also knew that her poem gave the huge woman a strong and caring voice, but she did not know that in the years to come, her poem would do much more. Slowly over time, Emma's poem stirred the hearts and minds of people around the nation. 20 years after Emma wrote it, a friend had the poem engraved on a plaque and placed inside the entrance to the pedestal of the Statue of Liberty for all visitors to see. 30 years after that, Emma's poem was printed in school textbooks, and children around the country learned to recite it. Then, more than 60 years after Emma wrote her poem, the last 5 lines of it, the statue's bold words, were set to music by the famous songwriter Irving Berlin and sung on Broadway. Soon, school children around the country were singing, and I'm sorry, I don't know how this goes to music, but give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Now the huge statue was much more than a gift of friendship from France to the United States. Because of Emma's poem, the Statue of Liberty had become the mother of immigrants, and her torch was a lamp held out to welcome them. Today, Emma's poem is so well known that when people look at the Statue of Liberty, they can almost hear her speaking. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. And we all have a little light, right? At the end of worship every week, we say, shine on, keep that light burning. And may we be welcoming. By shining our light, show that we are welcoming to all people too. Okay, let's go learn.
Love is the core value of Unitarian Universalism. It is at the center of everything we do, from loving our planet and to loving those who inhabit it. Yes, loving everyone. Even when you know they're wrong, you still have to love them. So I'm sharing a message by Lisa Friedman called Siding with Love. I have adapted it a little bit. Now, you never know when the moment when to act on the side of love will come. Such moments come in different ways to each of us, but they do come. They remind us that the decision we make in our day-to-day life do make a difference. They point out the ongoing choices we make between standing uncomfortably on the sideline, trying to decide what to do, to standing next to a stranger and protesting an injustice. They return us to the powerful truth that in critical times, it is possible to stand on the side of love by defending, supporting, and advocating for each other as we are all equals in humanity. If standing with love is so significant, then why isn't the world a better place? Don't most people already think of themselves as siding with love? Or at least as much love as they can manage, given most of us don't live as saints. It is a spiritual paradox. It is precisely because we live in a world which knows the evils of greed, violence, and the seas of human indifference that we need to understand just how sacred it is when our acts of love and compassion actually triumph. And it is precisely because we live in this world, that we cannot fully give up hope on our imperfect humanity. Now, if there's one thing I appreciate about our Universalist ancestors, is their invitation to side with love. I skipped something. If there's one thing I appreciate about our Unitarian Universalist Association invitation to love in these current times, is that the call invites love as an active force in our lives. So much of our understanding of love can be passive, like we fall in love, or we're hopelessly in love. Or we automatically assume love's presence in families and in our community. And we're shocked when we learn it isn't. But I do believe that love is more than merely a power that claims us. It is also the power we claim by choosing our response to the truths of our world. Love is a choice, whether we're at the bedside of a loved one or at the side of a stranger. The love which inspires the courage and commitment of such choices is not a sweet and sentimental love. Rather, it is a love that recognizes the greater good and the bonds of kinship of which we are a part. But once we accept love as a choice, then we must come to terms with where that choice leads us. This is a profound and radical insight of our Unitarian forebears, that this is the Universalist, that if love comes from God, then there can be no exceptions. Love cannot be just for one or some of us. It is for all of us. Love cannot be just for those with loud voices, but also with the voiceless. Love cannot be just with those of power, but also with those who are marginalized. So take a moment to reflect on this particular time in your own life, in the lives of your family and friends, and in the state of our community and our world. Who needs us to side with them in love? What moral question does our commitment to love calls us to address? Now, I don't have the answers for myself, let alone answers for you all, and I certainly wouldn't assume that I had answers for you all. The call to side with love is made in the spirit of inclusion. I think we're invited to occupy a new place of understanding about what it means to live spiritually in our world. Love is a choice, is a deep, life-changing choice, not just for our hearts, but for our souls. So will you please rise and body your spirit and join in singing, "We Are a Gentle, Angry People."
We are gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives.
At River of Grass, we offer many ways to live our Unitarian Universalist faith in action. You'll find them in our weekly email, our Facebook page, our website. What's our website? riverofgrassuu.org. Here are some upcoming opportunities to fulfill the mission and vision of this congregation and other announcements for the life of this blessed community. Registration is open for our new year of faith development for our children and youth. Capture the link on the screen or see the link in the weekly email or website. Reach out to our faith development director, Ms. Karen, during coffee hour for more information. The Faith Forward program is out of the First Unitarian Church of Dallas, and they're offering an online session of their UU Elevator Speech Series for all congregations. This series will be held Wednesdays, September 27th through October 11th from 8 to 9 Eastern Time on Zoom. And it'll guide participants through developing a brief statement about their Unitarian Universalist faith. Next time someone asks you, what religion are you? You'll be ready with a brief and meaningful statement. I wish you guys could have seen Rev Amy talking to the workers that were helping us move in to the congregation, to our new home. She had an hour-long conversation with several, and it was just fascinating to watch. You what? Free for River of Grass members, as we are subscribers of the Faith Forward program. For more information to register, see the link where? In the weekly email, or contact Karen Gonzalez at religiouseducator@riverofgrassuu.org. Deadline to register is mañana, tomorrow. The women's group will be meeting next Sunday, October 1st at 7 p.m. They will be multi-platform, meeting both in person and in the church office and virtually. Our topic will be cultivating relationships. Our definition of women is expansive and includes anyone who feels that they belong in this space, including those who identify as non-binary. The purpose of this group is to deepen our personal connections through shared discussions, listening to each other's experiences. For more information or the link, contact Kathy Jens-Rockow at womensgroup@riverofgrassuu.org. Taking care of business. Your board of directors will have their regular monthly meeting this Wednesday at the church office. Someone was just asking me about this. Can everybody attend? Sure, all are welcome. See Kathy Jens-Rockow for more information or email her at president@riverofgrassuu.org. See how that works? We have one more announcement.
Hello. Just reminding you that we are meeting at 8:30 every Sunday morning for mindfulness meditation. However, it'll only be available virtually on Zoom for the next, I'll return in person the Sunday after October 23rd. October 29th. I can do basic math still. So you can find that link on our website, riverofgrassuu.org, as well as some information about what we're doing. And so hopefully I'll see you virtually for the next 4 Sundays. 8:30 a.m., yes.
While they're getting the hospitality ready. When we are engaged in the act of love, we humans are at our best and most resilient. The love and romance that makes us want to be better people, the love of children that makes us want to change our whole lives to meet their needs, the love of family that makes us drop everything to take care of them, the love of community that makes us work tirelessly with broken hearts. Perhaps humans' core function is love. Love leads us to observe in much deeper way than any other emotion. We understand the strength of our movement is in the strength of our relationships, which can only be measured by our love. We extinguish this flame. Ken, would you extinguish the flame? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of love, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. This we carry in our hearts. And until we meet again, shine on.